The first light of dawn creeps through the cracks in a wooden cabin wall. The air is cold and still. You lie on a straw mattress, scratchy blankets wrapped around you, every joint stiff from the hard ground. In the corner, a chicken clucks softly, scratching at the floor, because animals share your room here. A faint smell of smoke lingers from last night's dying fire. The ashes in the hearth are cold. You sit up slowly, stretching sore muscles, the boards beneath you creaking under the weight. Outside, the dirt street of the town lies quiet, blanketed in soft mist, but the silence hides filth. Garbage and carcasses litter the road, a reminder of rough living. You pull on your boots, cracked leather, frayed laces. They are as tired as you are. Your stomach growls. No breakfast waits, just what you might scrape together. You open the cabin door, greeted by the dry, endless air of the frontier. The morning sun rises fast, already burning your skin as you step into the street. The air is dry and clean water is scarce. You walk toward the communal well. You lower a bucket, rope creaking. The water is cloudy, carrying the smell of dirt and decay. You cup the water in your hands. It's warm, bitter, and barely drinkable. People often chose weak beer or watered whiskey instead of water. At least it was safer. Breakfast is simple. Stale bread, salted pork, maybe beans if you're lucky. You chew slowly, the taste dry and flavorless, but it keeps you alive. There is no comfort here, only sustenance to survive another day. Children nearby sip from dented tin cups, their faces already pale from malnutrition. The well creaks again as another villager pulls up a bucket, muttering a prayer that it won't run dry. The sun climbs higher, and already sweat beads on your forehead. The day will be long, and the West is never kind. You leave town behind, the wooden buildings shrinking into the dusty horizon. The plains stretch endlessly, shimmering under a relentless sun. You ride a weary horse, saddle creaking, dust swirling around its hooves. Wind stirs faint clouds of sand, scratching your face like soft needles. The heat presses against you like a heavy blanket, slowing your breath. Off in the distance, thunderheads gather, darkening the horizon. A bolt of lightning splits the sky, a reminder the land itself is unpredictable. You glance over your shoulder, nothing but endless earth and sky behind you. The path is uncertain. Quicksand and flash floods lurk unseen. Somewhere ahead, a herd of buffalo moves like a living wave of dust. Cowboys feared stampedes more than gunfights. Nothing stops them. A wrong step here could end your life. Around you, the world hums with the quiet menace of survival. The day drags onward, and your horse slows under the weight of dust and heat. Afternoon comes, and you enter a new town, dusty, restless, and weary. Saloons line both sides of the street, their doors swinging softly in the heat. Inside, the low hum of conversation mixes with the clink of glasses. Law was thin here. Every stranger was a potential threat. In places like Dodge City, the odds of a resident being murdered could be terrifyingly high. There was no police force like you know, only sheriffs, often armed vigilantes. Trouble could ignite at the drop of a hat. Frontier justice was swift. A noose could replace a trial. You walk carefully, aware of every step, every glance. At any moment, life could end here with a single shot or a wrong word. Still, life continued. Merchants hawked goods, children played in dust, guns stayed close. This was the rhythm of the West, danger and routine walking hand in hand. You pause to drink water again, a precious luxury. Evening approaches, and you can feel the town's lawless heartbeat slowing for now. The sun hangs high as you reach a dusty pond on the trail. You lower your cup into the water, watching the dirt swirl in. The taste is bitter, and your stomach tightens with unease. Disease is everywhere here. Cholera, Dysentery and fever lurk unseen. Even a simple cut could turn fatal without proper medicine. You feel a cramp in your belly. It tightens painfully and sweat beads your skin. There is no doctor within miles, no medicine but what you carry. A sickness like this moves fast here, and survival is uncertain. You sip water again, hoping it will not bring more harm. Around you the land breathes a quiet, unrelenting danger. The journey is not only a test of skill, but of endurance.
The year is 1347. Outside the stone walls of a castle, the wind howls. Snow sweeps across the fields. Branches rattle in the night. Inside, the walls are strong, but they are also cold. A castle was built to keep out enemies, not winter. So, how did people sleep here? How did they keep warm without freezing to death? Stone walls, thick, damp, icy to the touch. In summer, cool and pleasant, but in winter, they became prisons of cold. Windows were narrow, often just arrow slits, sometimes covered with wood or oiled parchment. The wind slipped through every crack. Even kings could see their breath in the air. At the center of life stood the fire. In the great hall, flames roared day and night. Oak logs hissed and spat. Smoke drifted high into the rafters. Here, servants and guards slept, on straw, on cloaks, on sacks filled with hay, huddled together near the hearth. Their faces warmed by the glow, their backs chilled by the draught. The fire gave life, but most of its heat was lost to the air. For the lord and lady, it was different. They slept in canopy beds. Curtains of heavy wool or velvet were drawn tight. Inside, the air was trapped, a small, private world of warmth. Feather mattresses softened the frame, wool blankets piled high, and furs, fox, wolf, even bear, lay on top. Sometimes a brazier glowed in the corner. But the bed itself was the real refuge, a chamber within a chamber. Nobody went to bed bare. They wore linen shifts, woolen tunics, thick socks, and the nightcap, a simple hat of wool or linen. It kept precious heat from escaping the head. Servants slept in whatever they owned: cloaks, boots, spare clothes. Layers meant survival. Another secret was togetherness. Families shared one bed. Children, parents, even servants. Not only because beds were rare, but because bodies meant warmth. A single person froze, a group endured the night. The night was divided. First sleep, then second sleep. People went to bed after sundown, slept for a few hours, then woke around midnight. They stoked the fire, prayed, talked quietly, sometimes even worked. Then they lay down again for their second sleep until the dawn. Servants had no feathers or velvet. They slept on straw sacks, on rushes spread across the floor. Rushes were often mixed with herbs, lavender, mint, sweet smells to mask the damp. The beds were humble, but they kept people off the freezing stone. Imagine it now. The great hall is quiet. The fire glows red. Shadows dance on the walls. Servants breathe softly in sleep. Children curl together on straw pallets. A knight rests near the hearth, his cloak wrapped tight. Above, in the Lord's chamber, the curtains of the great bed are drawn. Inside, beneath wool and fur, Two figures lie close, breath rising in faint clouds. The castle is never silent. A guard's footsteps echo. A hound stirs. The wind moans through the arrow slits. But still, people sleep. Not by fighting the cold, but by outsmarting it. So how did they sleep in castles without freezing? By fire, by fabric, by closeness, and by habit. The castle was built for defense, but inside, people found a way to dream. Even in the heart of winter, even in a chamber of stone. The sun has set. Shadows stretch across the fields. A small medieval village grows quiet. The work of the day is finished. The fields are empty. The animals are penned. The smoke of hearth fires curls into the night sky. This is how life slowed, when darkness fell. Inside a cottage, the air is thick with the smell of wood smoke. The fire still burns in the hearth, though smaller than before. It is the only source of warmth. The walls are of wattle and daub. The roof is thatch. The floor is earth, sometimes strewn with rushes. Families gather close to the fire. Children sit at their mother's side. A father mends a tool, speaking softly. The glow of the fire is their lamp. There are no glass windows, only shutters. When closed, the room is dark, save for the flicker of flames. When the last embers dim, it is time for bed. There is no bedroom as we know it, only one space. The family shares it together. A straw mattress, laid on a wooden frame if they are lucky. Otherwise, sacks stuffed with hay. Blankets are heavy, rough, and precious. Often just cloaks or layers of wool. Clothes are not removed. They are worn into bed. The same tunics used in the fields. Worn now for warmth against the chill. The whole family sleeps close. Parents, children, sometimes even grandparents. One bed, one blanket. This is not only custom, it is survival. A single body gives little heat, but together they create a shield against the cold. In the corner, animals may rest too. A pig, a chicken, their breath adding to the warmth of the home. Outside, the village has grown still. Only the creak of wood in the wind, the bark of a distant dog, the slow trickle of the stream beyond the fields. Yet the night is never silent. Owls call from the trees. Wolves may prowl beyond the hedges. The watchman walks the road, lantern in hand. Within the cottage, children murmur in sleep. A baby stirs. The fire sighs as it dies lower. Like the castle, the peasant's sleep comes in two parts. First sleep, then waking in the middle of the night. Then second sleep until dawn. In the dark hours, a father may rise to feed the fire. A mother may nurse her child. Some whisper prayers. Some listen to the night. Then they return to the straw bed, curling once again beneath their blanket, waiting for the rooster's call. The night was not just for sleep. It was a place of mystery. People feared spirits, demons, and witches. A creak could mean a thief. A howl could mean the devil. A shadow could be something more than a shadow. But prayers, charms, and faith brought comfort. And the warmth of family, pressed close together, gave courage.
Slowly, the eastern sky lightens. The rooster crows. The village stirs. The fire is coaxed back to life. The children rub their eyes. The day begins again. Night has passed, and the village has endured. Life in a medieval village at night was simple and harsh. One room, one fire, one bed for all. Yet there was safety in closeness, comfort in routine, and peace in the rhythm of sleep and waking. In the heart of the dark, the peasants dreamed, and when the sun rose, they rose too, ready to work once more in the endless cycle of life.
Tonight, we visit a quiet, forgotten village. Nothing new happens here. Everything repeats slowly. Close your eyes and let the stillness carry you away. The road stretches endlessly. Trees stand tall, all looking the same. Birds sing the same soft notes. The fields are wide and still. The huts wait quietly, side by side. Villagers greet each other, repeating the same words. A cart rests at the side of the road. Goats stand tied near fences. Children walk slowly, their steps steady. The wind moves gently, without hurry. At the edge of the village stands an old house. Its walls are faded, its roof unchanged. The door creaks the same way every day. Inside, wooden floors groan softly. Dust covers shelves and pots. Stairs lead up to quiet rooms. The beds are simple, the sheets are faded. Nothing inside ever changes. The market is small yet steady. Rows of stalls all look the same. Sellers call out prices over and over. Buyers repeat the same questions. Coins clink, the sound repeats again and again. Chickens walk lazily across the path. Nothing surprising happens. Beyond the market stands an old fortress. Its stone walls rise high, covered with moss. Inside, corridors echo with footsteps. Dust floats slowly in beams of light. The silence is endless. The river flows gently, never rushing. Its water glides over smooth stones. Birds float quietly on its surface. The sound repeats forever. On the farm, cows chew grass slowly. Goats rest beside the fences. Chickens peck at the ground. Farmers repeat the same tasks each day. Feed the animals, carry the water, sweep the yard, and then begin again. The old library is filled with silence. Shelves carry dusty books. Pages turn slowly, one after another. Lists and names fill the books. Nothing changes in their words. Above the village, the stars shine faintly. The moon is pale, quiet in the sky. Crickets chirp, their rhythm never changing. The breeze moves the leaves gently. Night repeats itself, softly and endlessly. Once more the road stretches on. Step after step, the view remains the same. A traveler walks slowly, yet nothing changes. The road does not end. It only repeats. At last, the village grows still. The huts are quiet. The fields are silent. The river hums softly in the dark. Stars shine above, calm and steady. The night deepens. Time slows down. Sleep arrives, quiet and complete.
The abbey stands silent. Stone walls rise against the night. The sound of bells has faded. Only the wind moves through the cloisters. Here, monks live by strict rule, silence, discipline, prayer, and even in sleep, their life is shaped by devotion. Each monk sleeps alone, not in comfort, but in a small stone room called a cell. The walls are bare. A single window, narrow, often unglazed. A wooden door, plain and heavy. Inside, the furnishings are few. A bed of wood, a thin straw mattress, a simple blanket, if any. No decoration, no luxury, nothing to distract the mind from God. In many orders, monks were forbidden comfort. Some slept without blankets, some without pillows, only in their robes lying on straw. The idea was sacrifice, to deny the body and purify the soul. The chill of the night was a test, a reminder of discipline, and of Christ's own suffering. Before bed, the monks gathered for prayer. The service of Compline. Soft chants rose into the stone vaults, Latin words echoing in the darkness. Afterward, silence. The monks moved slowly to their cells. Lanterns glowed along the cloister. One by one, doors closed. Inside, each monk lay down. The cold pressed close, but stillness brought peace. Most monks slept in their habits. Woolen robes, rough to the skin, a rope belt, a hood drawn low. At times they wrapped their sleeves across their chest, or curled tightly, conserving heat. There was no softness, only endurance. Monks did not sleep through the night. The rhythm of prayer ruled all hours. At midnight, the great bell rang. Matins, the service in the dark. Each monk rose, crossed the cold stone floor, and walked in silence to the chapel. Candles flickered. The choir filled with voices, chanting into the stillness of night. When it ended, they returned. Some slept again for a little while. Others stayed awake, meditating or reading scripture. Winters were harsh. Stone walls held the frost. The air inside was as sharp as the air outside. Yet monks accepted the cold. They believed it drew them closer to God. That comfort was a temptation, and hardship was holy, where we might shiver and despair. They endured. At the first hint of light, the bell rang again. Lauds. Morning prayer. The monks rose from their hard beds. They filed once more into the chapel, breath steaming in the cold air. The day began not with comfort, but with worship. So how did monks sleep in stone abbeys, without blankets? They slept in silence, in discipline, on straw, in robes with little warmth. Their rest was short, their nights interrupted, their bodies uncomfortable, but their faith gave them strength, and in their hardship they found purpose. In the dark stillness of the abbey, monks dreamed not of comfort, but of eternity.
The Silk Road stretches for thousands of miles. Mountains, deserts, endless plains. It was not just a road, but a lifeline between worlds. China to Persia, India to Byzantium, east to west. Merchants, pilgrims, and travelers crossed it, and when night fell, they had to sleep. Picture it, a long train of camels, their bells jingling softly, men leading mules, carts creaking under silk, spices, and porcelain. By day, the road is alive with movement. By night, the caravan stops. The animals are tethered, fires are lit, and a small world of tents rises from the dust. In the desert, nights are cold, colder than the day could ever suggest. The heat vanishes with the sun, the sand releases its warmth into the sky. Travelers wrapped themselves in wool cloaks, in furs, in layers of cloth. Some dug shallow pits in the sand, lined them with blankets, and let the earth block the wind. Others huddled close to the fires, their camels forming a circle around them, a living wall against the night. Wealthier merchants carried tents, large, round, woven from felt or wool. Inside, carpets softened the ground, pillows and blankets piled high. Here, deals were whispered, stories were told, songs filled the air until sleep claimed the camp. But poorer travelers had little more than the clothes on their back. They slept under the stars, their packs for pillows, their cloaks for warmth. The Silk Road was never silent. A camel grunted in the dark, a horse stamped its hoof. The fire cracked and sighed.
Land of order, discipline, and ritual. The samurai lived not only by day, but also by night. Even in their rest, their way of life was shaped by duty. Picture a wooden house, sliding doors, paper walls, a garden outside with the sound of water. Inside, the floor is covered with tatami, straw mats woven tight, soft to walk on, firm to sleep on. There is little furniture. Space is left open. Simplicity itself. Before night, the samurai removes his armor, the plates of iron, the silk cords, the helmet. Piece by piece, it is stored carefully, polished, respected. He wears instead a simple robe, cotton, light, clean. Shoji screens are closed. Lanterns are lit. The glow is gentle, soft, golden. On the tatami, a futon is laid. Not a thick bed, but a thin mattress, folded during the day. A quilt placed on top. The samurai lies down. The futon supports him, firm yet modest. There is no softness to weaken the spirit, only enough comfort to rest. The night in a samurai house is quiet. No loud voices, no idle talk. Outside, the sound of crickets, the breeze in the trees, perhaps the distant bark of a dog. Inside, only stillness. Silence was part of discipline, and silence allowed the